If you study this term, mercy, it's we get our English term eleemosynary from this Greek term here in Matthew 5:7. If you're really, really smart, you know what that means. I didn't know what it meant, so it actually means benefactor. I had to look it up. Macs, Apple computers, they have this really neat feature. You just triple tap your word and there's a definition. It's wonderful, wonderful. So I triple tapped it. Dictionary came up. Eleemosynary, what is an eleemosynary? An eleemosynary is a benefactor. It's someone who benefits another person who's in need. A benefactor sees someone in tremendous need, and then they give of their resources to do whatever it takes to meet that need. That's mercy. And oftentimes, mercy involves forgiveness. Mercy is not determined by whether or not the person to whom you're giving mercy, whether or not you're beholden to them. It doesn't matter if they have a claim on your life or not. Mercy is giving to another person regardless of any of those things. It's seeing a need and it's meeting a need. And so, of course, you see the connection from being poor in spirit and being merciful. If you're poor in spirit, you know that you're a man in need of mercy. I'm a woman in need of mercy. I know that I need to be a little bit more patient with my sin. I need to be a little more patient with myself. And what that does is it produces in you this desire to be a little bit more patient with others and to be a little bit more merciful with other people. To be a little bit more apt to alleviate their suffering, to meet their need. Mercy keeps you from saying things like, "How could you ever?" Or, "I cannot believe you have gotten into this situation." If you're merciful, you can't say those kinds of things. Because the merciful person is a person who's poor in spirit, and the poor in spirit person goes, "Oh, I could see myself being where you're being. You know, I myself was where you're at." All of a sudden, there's a different perspective. All of a sudden, there's this empathy. All of a sudden, you're identifying with the person who's in need. You're trying to get into their skin. You're trying to feel what they feel, think what they think, do what they do. And you're sympathetic, and that sympathy produces in you not just an emotion, but this desire to act, this desire to alleviate the suffering. It's only used, this form of the word's only used one other time in the New Testament, and it's used in my favorite book of the Bible, the book of Hebrews. It's my favorite for now anyway. It's Hebrews chapter 2, verse 17. And this word mercy that Jesus uses in Matthew 5:7, the author of Hebrews, who was Luke, I'm just kidding. The author of Hebrews applies it to Jesus himself. In Hebrews 2:17, he says that he, Jesus, therefore, had to be made like his brothers. He had to be made like you and me, humanity. He had to be made like us in every respect. In other words, the incarnation was necessary. Jesus had to take on human flesh. He had to enter into our situation. He had to identify with us, but not identify with us from his ivory tower, not from the heaven above, but he had to leave heaven, come down to earth, take on human flesh so that he could feel our frailty, so he could experience our temptation, so he could be in our shoes. And what was the purpose? What was the reason for that? Hebrews 2:17 says that he had to be made like his brothers in every respect, so that for the purpose that he might be a merciful and faithful high priest. That's what it takes to be merciful. You've got to enter in. You've got to have a desire, a feeling to meet the need, but not just the feeling, but you're moved to action